And that's the nature of a recession. It's also the collapse in demand, the collapse in employment. It's not the result of any scarcity of resources, precisely the opposite. All those resources are then withdrawn, are no longer used, and that then feeds into a major downfall of economic activity.
Well, Professor Chossudovsky, it's been a pleasure to have you on today, author of the book, The Globalization of Poverty and the New World Order. We'd like to have you back on again. It was an honor to have you on The Real News. We want to thank you for joining us today. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say I'm a graduate of University of North Carolina, so I'm very happy to be on this program. Secondly, I'd like to invite your listeners to visit our website at www.globalresearch.ca. I'll repeat, www.globalresearch.ca. We're based in Montreal, Canada. We have a daily coverage of the news, and we are of course, very anxious to reveal the inner workings of this new world order, both in terms of its financial aspects, but more generally of the whole issue of war and globalization, which in our understanding is threatening the livelihood of people across the land. And so, thank you very much for your invitation, and I look forward to a future discussion.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and we'll have you back on. We're going to go to a break, and after that, we will go to the phones. Okay, we're back on The Real News. Our phone numbers are 704-873-1400. Davie County number is 336-499-0681. Our email is onair@therealnewsradio.com, and our website is therealnewsradio.com. I wanted to say again, next week on the 22nd, there is a national End the Fed rally at all the branches. Is there 12 branches? I'm not sure exactly how many branches there is, but at all branches. Ours is in Charlotte. We're going to be leaving here immediately after we go off the air. If anyone wants to join us, follow us down there. We should be there around noon. We encourage everyone to join in. If you've never been part of a big protest, I think you'll enjoy it. It's going to begin actually before we get there, most likely, but I think it's important. The Federal Reserve banking system, if you don't understand it, I encourage you to investigate it. We will be discussing it further next week. There is a connection between the assassination of JFK and the Federal Reserve banking system. We're going to talk about that, and also, there's something else, and you're welcome to call in if you'd like to talk about the economy, our guest, our situation, the bailout. Feel free to call in. We've give you the phone numbers. But Brian, if you'd like to tell us a little bit about the Feel Good Foundation and what we're trying to do here previous to Christmas.
The Feel Good Foundation, as we've gone over a few weeks ago, for those of you unaware, the Feel Good Foundation is a foundation of 9/11 first responders. It was founded by John Feel. That's why they call it the Feel Good Foundation. It's for 9/11 first responders who are suffering terribly as a result of their work at Ground Zero. They were exposed to an enormous amount of toxins there and told the air was safe to breathe. Many of them have died, and the U.S. government is doing practically nothing to help them. So they are the Real News Radio's official charity. And I spoke with Charlie Giles. He is a board member of the Feel Good Foundation. And we are going to begin a toy drive here at the Real News Radio to collect toys to give to the children of first responders who can barely afford to put food on their table, let alone buy toys. So again, I spoke to Charlie Giles. He's all for this. He was very excited that we're helping him. So whatever anyone out there can do to help us, it would be truly appreciated.
Now, these are new toys that we're going to be sending them, and if you'd like to contact us, just use that email address, onair@therealnewsradio.com. We will come to your house, pick them up, whatever we got to do. And Charlie Giles also will be our guest on the 29th. We had him on one time prior, but our time was 9 a.m. We were only on WDSL, so we want to have him back, let him tell the plight of of the 9/11 first responders, which is a national tragedy that our government goes around and doles out the money by the billions to countries such as Georgia, but refuses to help the heroes of 9/11, the first responders. So we'll be covering that on the 29th. And if you're looking for the website, the Feel Good Foundation is spelled FEAL. And also we have a link off of the Real News Radio. If you'd like to go to our website and click on links, you can go to their website because it really is a worthy cause. If you'd like to call in today, our phone numbers are 704-873-1400, 336-499-0681. I want to continue a little bit on the meltdown in the economy, and this was reported on the Right Side News November 12th, 2008. The bankruptcy of Iceland now receiving a $2.1 billion 2-year loan from the International Monetary Fund. We got a phone call. We're going to go ahead and go to that. Hey, you're on the Real News.
Yes, sir, Fran. How you doing?
Good. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, doing okay. Listen, I wanted to commend you on your guest that you had. And I wanted to say, I hope you do get that fellow back on the first responder from 9/11. There is something that needs to be really spoken on right there.
Well, that's something that goes totally unreported by our press, and it is a national tragedy, and we feel like it's important to bring that kind of information to the people. What's your opinion on our situation in our economy, our meltdown?
Well, it's bad and heading to worse, I do believe. I think, like he said, there's going to be a whole lot of monopolizing going on. And you can look all around you. I mean, look where we live at, and the people that's already losing their homes now.
Oh, yes, businesses are closing up.
Yes, sir, and I don't think Obama has the answer. McCain didn't have the answer. I mean, we're in a world of hurt. There's no doubt about that.
And we had reported here prior to even the meltdown beginning that once it started, it was going to be a gigantic move toward globalism, and we're seeing it this very week with the meeting of G20. I mean, the people need to wake up. We are in dire straits here in America, people, and everyone's just riding along thinking it's all going to turn out all right. We're in desperate situations, and it's getting worse.
Yes, sir, and they're used to the fact of always leaning on the government to take care of them, and being an old country boy, it definitely benefits people to learn how to become a little bit self-sufficient. Work a garden. If you don't have a garden, then there are ways to grow some of your own food anyway.
Well, I agree with you. We've got another phone call. We certainly appreciate you calling today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, sir. Just keep up the good work, Frank.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Pleasure to listen to you.
Hey, you're on Real News today.
Yes, sir. This is Brad. Comment on the topic of the day. A lot of people don't recognize that this is a part of a planned program, and this is something that people have been putting the works together for quite a while, and it's two real levels. I hate to say it as this, but it's an us against them type scenario. As these people build their strength and taking over certain levels of financing, the government, major industry, it affects us directly. As your last caller said, there's numbers and numbers of us that are suffering economically, and this is a part of the plan of their growth and strength is to weaken our side of the battle zone. And I'm not a conspiracist, but I do believe that there is a program in effect that's to control more and more of the population, and as they take more and more away from us, we've become more and more dependent. And that's another thing in the American people. We seem to look to the government to do more and more for us instead of look for our own resources, and that is playing into their hands.
Oh, I agree. The American people, too many of them, are on the teat of the giant governmental sow, and this debacle is by design, and the American people's wealth is like a giant sucking sound being returned to the Wall Street elite, and unfortunately the American people apparently don't have the intelligence to look at this situation and see what's actually going on.
And I think one of the things that you and I can do to help people is to help them realize maybe some places to look to see some real things that are happening.